I'll just, if she texts me again, I'll just say, we'll record it and she can watch it later.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, all right, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get going.
All right.
Hopefully some other folks will show up as we're going along. All right. So, like I said, I sent the code in the chat. So if you click on that, it'll take you directly to this Pear Deck. Or you can go to up here to joinpd.com and then type in this code. There's Anita. Hi, Anita.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you on your phone?
I can't hear you though.
You can't hear me?
At all. I've got, I mean, like zero sound.
Diane, can you hear me? Diana?
Yeah.
So, Anita, go to the chat. Or let me, nothing? Well, let's see.
And Diana, can you, I can't hear you either. Nothing, no sound at all.
Oh, I can hear you.
You can? Okay. I don't know what's going on with my system today. I'm going to try something. Hold on. Go ahead and go without me, Roger, and I've got a couple ideas.
Okay, I'll just let you in and out. Hi, Lisa.
Now I can hear you. My speaker was muted. Good grief.
Good.
Rookie mistake.
No problem. So, Anita and Lisa, if you look in the chat, there should be a link to the Pear Deck. And I don't know how familiar you guys are with Pear Deck. I can send it again. It's no problem.
I don't see the link here.
I don't either.
Okay, I'll get it. I'll try again.
There you go.
Oh, not the first one. That was the link to this meeting. The one that says peardeck.com, student. And then, yeah. I got one good student on there. We'll see how the other ones are. And Anita, I'm recording it, so don't start dropping you know what's.
The F-bomb. Okay, I'll be a good girl. And if I have to run out occasionally, there's no one here covering the front office at all. So if I have to jump up and run out, that's why, and I apologize.
No problem. So Barb Bright is sending me she's having the same problem. Lisa, did you have any problem?
I just had to go back and find the code to get in, but I found it, so. That might be what she needs is the code.
Just the password, the 5-6 thing?
Yeah.
Tried to make it simple. Maybe I didn't do a good job with that.
I was in the process of emailing her to see if she'd found it when I found it, so.
Oh, okay. You guys aren't close to each other, are you? I mean, physically.
Not at the moment. No, we're both at home. So she lives a long way from me.
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully she'll get in and we'll get her all caught up. This really does feel like I'm running a class. Trying to get people on.
Get on, help me. I can't get on. Hurry, help me.
Yeah.
I tried and tried. Finally, I had a lot of applications open, so I shut everything down and restarted my computer, and then I was able to get right in. But I tried over and over and over before that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's the first time I've I've gone through the system where you have to register for the thing and have a password. Like I was telling Diana, I always just have a waiting room, and I know all my students. So,
Well, and the password doesn't show, it's like dot, 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 and then you have to click the show to let you see the password, what it is.
oh, really?
It doesn't just
Yeah.
have the password right there.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Or mine did anyway. It's not your fault. Zoom probably set it up that way.
Well,
it's
but just for future reference,
Hmm.
if you might recommend to people, Roger, in any of these classes you take, if there's a little tiny sentence that says add to my calendar, and if you click on add it to your calendar, it does show the link and the password.
Here's Barb.
So encourage people to add it to their calendars.
There you go.
There she is.
Didn't recognize you, Roger, with the beard.
Yeah, I heard Kentucky Fried Chicken was hiring for their ads, so I thought.
The last time I saw you, you didn't have it. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
I
trying to lose my
recognized the
age.
voice, but I thought the face didn't match the voice.
So, Barb, I put a link to the Pear Deck in the chat. And I'm going to go through 5 practical tips. And when I say practical, I didn't get these. I didn't like look these up. These are just what I'm doing in my class. And really, what I had in mind was more secondary level. So you guys will have to help me. And maybe it's not. Some of it may not be applicable to elementary, but I think some of it will be. At least the first tip I think will be. So just the regular stuff. We're going to try to find 5 ways to make your remote classes more engaging for students. And I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but I had, well, we'll go through this, but one of the big issues I had was I'd have students join the Zoom and then not do anything. And so really that's my main problem. And that's what I was trying to fix. And I've gone from about 50% completion rates and lots of headaches and bothering kids and just trying to get them to turn anything in to I like the last one. I have 80 or 90% students figure it out the first round, and I don't have to go back and get after them. So the practical tips I'm giving you seem to be working. So hopefully you'll find something useful in it. We have to put that slide in. If you guys have questions, use the chat or don't be afraid to unmute yourselves. I say that because what I'm finding with students is they don't ever unmute themselves, but they're happy to use the chat. So I don't know if it's the same for elementary kids, but for high school kids, we have them in class now, and they would still rather chat with me through the chat than talk to me out loud in the class. Well, most of them. We do have some of them that are different. All right, so here's the first thing. So you should have a little box that says your response. So go ahead and, why did you sign up for this session? I'm curious.
How do I make it send it to you? I pushed enter, but nothing happened.
No, you don't have to push enter. As soon as you start typing, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm looking at you guys' responses right now in real time.
I'm not seeing where to type a response.
Okay, so are you in the Pear Deck or the Zoom?
Yeah, I'm in the Pear Deck.
So in the Pear Deck, you should see my slide, and then next to a little box that says your response. Do you see that?
Nope.
What slide do you see right now?
It says, why did you sign up for this session?
Okay, and then it's just the slide, or is there something next to it?
It's just a slide. That's all I see.
For me, Roger, the response box showed up on my second screen. It didn't show up on the screen with the slide.
Oh, okay. Okay. This has never happened to me before. So, Lisa, you have to type it in the chat.
That I can do.
Okay. So I can still get your response.
Mine is on the side, if that makes you feel better, Roger.
Okay.
Mine was on the side until I clicked unmute and now it's gone. And I wasn't done. But that's okay. I got most of it in there.
You know, it's me. I'm a technological jinx. Maybe I should go home, Roger.
No.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but I guess you can stay.
Okay.
It'll be okay. We're rolling with it. I'll just wait. I'll give Lisa a second to type something in the chat for me or to everybody. It's up to her.
If you unmute yourself with the space bar, it just keeps on going through the box. So if you back up, your whatever you typed is probably there. Because like usually you unmute with the space bar, but when you're replying like that, it just keeps on moving through the box.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. And here, fingers crossed this will work. Oh, here we go. So these are your responses, and you'll see they're anonymous. So if you give the students a question, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Pear Deck, but you can click on Show Responses, and then they're anonymous, and people can look at them. Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So we really do have the same goal. So I'm gonna take that back. And then these are your next question. What's your status quo right now? How engaged are your students when learning remotely? How do you know if they are paying attention? And how much classwork are they completing? So it's those same questions I had. I'm just curious what you guys are finding out. And if the Pear Deck doesn't work, go ahead and put it in the chat. Good. Okay, so let's see. Let me summarize. They're paying attention, but their work isn't of great quality always. I can see them on the camera. They're talking with others, but not with me. Okay. I can tell when they respond to my comments or questions. They're completing some work, few are doing all of it. Okay. So I think this is one of those things where it's really going to divide between elementary and secondary, because I don't know how well your kids write. So my classes become really writing focused because they're responding inside of Pear Deck or the chats or some of the other things I'll show you. So that may be a difference. That's a good puzzle for me to try to think through. So I already told you, my students were kind of coming to Zoom, but not really. I couldn't tell if they were paying attention. It was driving me crazy because they wouldn't unmute themselves. And with the high school students, they'd never turn on their cameras, or they'll turn it on for 5 seconds and show the roof of their bedroom, and that's it. So that wasn't a great option. So anyway, so what the structure day is, there's going to be I'm going to tell you what my challenge was, and then I'll tell you how my tip for overcoming it. So the first challenge I had is there's too many excellent educational websites and programs. And so I was lost at the beginning of the semester because I thought, I mean, all of them look good. You know, in language arts, we had News ELA, Common Lit, No Red Ink, Discovery Ed, just so many programs. And I was, and let's see, Ed Puzzle. So I kept trying different ones, thinking one of them would work for me. And what I found is I didn't know any of them very well. Oh, I was going to show you this. I didn't know any of them very well, and then I didn't know how best to use them. So when you look through this list, we'll come back to the slide. And which sites are you guys using? What seems to be working for you? What have the students responded well to? Oh, okay. All right, so I got Google and Clever and Kahoot, the interactive whiteboard. Okay. I don't know what Clever Seesaw is enough to, um, yeah, I really don't know enough about it. Good. So I'll show you, this is what I do. I limit the number of programs you use. KISS principle, right? Keep it simple. So I use Google Classroom, Google Slides, Google, oh, I don't know why, Google Classroom again. That's not what's, Google Docs and Google Voice. So my whole class is run through Google. And I just try to keep it very, very simple. And I'm going to show you how I put this all together. So the first tip is limit the number of programs you're using. There's what I'm finding is that it's not, there's no website or something like that that's going to be magical and suddenly work. The other thing is when I'm talking to teachers, lots of times it's the teachers that are bored with a website more than the students. Or they want to try the new thing. And then lots of people, the coaches I work with are always finding new, or Gail and Travis, they're always finding new things to push out, but it gets to be overwhelming. And so I was getting very frustrated with it. So I just went back to the Google Suite. So the next challenge I had, and I don't know if this is a challenge in elementary, I could not get kids to classes sometimes. So how do you get your students to your Zoom classes? So if they don't show up, how do you get them on your Zoom? Or maybe it's not a problem in elementary, but it definitely is a problem in high school and middle school. Okay. All right. So you guys are ahead of me on this. Yeah, so again, this is a different thing, right? Because the elementary students don't have as much autonomy. Um, Middle school and high school students, they can, it's pretty easy for them to tell their parents they're on the Zoom when they're not. I don't know if the kids are doing it. So what I started doing is I use Google Voice, and someone put that there, text, and I text the parents. So the first thing I had to do was make a contact list. So I don't know, have you guys done this already? So I made a contact list. These are the first name of my student and then the mother's name or father's name or the whatever number. And so I put all of their numbers in here. So I set up my contact list for all my students, and it makes it really fast. And then the other thing I did, and because Lisa and Barb, you guys do, I did my message in English and Spanish. All my students but one speak Spanish as a home language. And so I made this sheet, and so it's pretty easy. I just click on this real quick and copy and paste that into the text that I send. And then I use Google Voice. Now, the Google Voice has to go through my personal Google Voice, not my 501. And so you'll see here, these are, see, there's probably some frequent flyers here. So I just send them an email. So when I put the students on bell work, and then I'm racing through my, not racing, but I'm taking my attendance. And while I'm taking my attendance, I'm texting all the parents. And this has worked great. And I've some of these kids, like Joshua's mom and I, we have every day he comes late, and every day she tells him, and every day he apologizes when he comes late. And it's just worked out really well. So my attendance rate just shot through the roof once I started doing this. And I was going to try to do it, show you guys today. But one of the students was complaining to me because she's tired of me sending text to her mom. Because the other thing is, if it may be the same thing for you guys, if they're not working in class, because they can get on the Zoom and open a document and then not do anything, I'll text their parents right away and say, hey, whatever, Juan's in class, but he's not doing anything. And that's really helped. So you guys who said you were using text, what are you using Google Voice? Do you have another program you use?
No,
you just
I just
using your
send it
phone?
through my personal phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They'll have my phone number. No one's ever called me on it because they just send me texts.
Okay. Do you have a Google Voice set up, or?
No, I don't.
Okay. So, yeah. No, I'm thinking about it. I've never given my phone number, like my direct phone number, to any of my kids, but I've had the Google Voice forever. So, and yeah, it's on it every day when I start class. My contacts are there, and it's one of the contacts. Is if they need anything, they can text me through that. So, I'm a big fan of Google Voice as far as using it for texting. You can receive calls through it too, but it saves all those for you. So if someone calls and leaves a message, you get a text with the message. But you'd have to use a Gmail account of your own instead of the 501. So I know some people aren't real comfortable with that. So this has made a big difference. And my attendance definitely shot up once I started texting moms.
Roger, why is it that we can't utilize the 501 Gmail?
Travis True told us why, because we used to be able to. Let me think.
Is it that because our system is free and there's no? But I'm sure you're not paying for the upgrades on your private Gmail, are you?
No, it's free. I think it has to do something with enterprise software.
Oh.
Versus just a personal one. So I think Google Voice, if you're like TPS, you have to pay a fee to use their Google Voice service or something like that. I think it had something to do with that. Like, they don't care if individuals use it, but companies need to pay. Or that may not be right, but there was something like that, because I don't know, because I had it on both, on my personal and my TPS one, and then it was either last year or this year that they told us. I know it's when we went remote. Travis told us we couldn't use the TPS one. So when you go into it, it's just blank, even if you had a number. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's a great idea. So if you have a support person, they can be sending the text to the parents while you're doing your instruction. Yeah. Cool. So this has helped me get students to class, which means they can, hopefully they'll get some work done when they get there. And this is just a real quick video. So here they are working on their bell work. This is what the Pear Deck looks on my side. So I see that they're started, and then
is there a way to make that a little bit bigger?
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
So then this is me taking attendance. So the videos are from my A session, which is the morning session in high school. I used to have an even mixed, mix of students, and now I only have, I think I have 5 students in the morning, 4 students. Everyone else has gone remote. Lots and lots of high school kids are going remote. I don't know if it's the same with elementary, but especially last week, we just got one email after another that kids were going remote. So that's it. I mean, it's really, really, I don't know. It's pretty simple. So I can kind of watch them doing their bell work, but it also gives me that time to get in there and get those texts sent. And the afternoon's a lot more challenging. The issue I have in the morning is kids are still asleep. So the next one, and this is really what changed it for me. So it's monitoring students in real time in class. So how do you know students are on task while oh, I don't, there's an extra on there, while teaching on Zoom? And we kind of talked about this already. You said you guys, I think you guys were saying that you try to watch them on the camera. And that sort of thing. I found out, I feel like the hard way, and I'm gonna use the high school stuff. So on News ELA, Common Lit, Discovery Ed, even Ed Puzzle, I'll put a caveat on Ed Puzzle. It's very easy to assign work. So you can send something out and you can read a text with them, but them actually answering the questions within inside those programs, you don't know whether they are or not. Now on Ed Puzzle, you don't know what they're answering. You can see that they're making progress through the video, but you can't tell what their answers are. So you can't correct them in real time or see what they're doing. And that is why I have thrown all that stuff out. If I can't see what they're doing while they're in class, it's not very useful to me. I need to be able to see. So with the Pear Deck, I can see right away when you guys are typing, whether you're getting it or not getting it. So Pear Deck is the first one I want to talk about, and we're using Pear Deck. The reason I like Pear Deck is I can add text to my, so I build my presentation in Google Slides, and then I can add the text box where you guys are writing your responses. And then on my side, I'm looking at the dashboard. Are you guys familiar with all this stuff? Here, I'll show you. Well, I guess I did kind of show you. Let me, I'll show you a different screen. So you'll see, you guys, so since there's a text box here, there's a space for you guys to answer. And I just put it, nowadays, I just always, when I'm putting together my Google Slides, I have a text box on every one of them. The other reason I do that is if I'm in class, I can just say, hey, if I think of a question, I can say, put this in the text box, and I can look at it. The other thing that's kind of neat, and I wish I had, well, anyway, we'll get there. If you ask students in Pear Deck questions and they respond here, they'll get a copy of their responses afterwards. So you can share it with them. So it's a place you can take notes. So you guys, if you were taking notes for the presentation, you could type something in there. And at the end, when I publish my takeaways, you would get a copy of whatever you wrote. So, so that's me singing the praises of Pear Deck. Here's the issue with Pear Deck. I don't know. There is no way, if students write something incorrectly inside of Pear Deck, there's no way for me to fix it on the fly, to edit anything or make a comment on the fly. You use these little boxes, this feedback box, where I can type something in here, and then I can send it to you. So Barb's going to get some nonsense from me. But what I found is students did not respond to that. They didn't even notice it. Barb, what do you see when I do that? You get a little thing, right? Oh, you're muted.
Doggone it, I'm muted. Do I have to go back to my Pear Deck to see it?
So
Yes.
Probably, yeah, it should be on your Pear Deck, and there should be,
Oh, I see it. It's a little like talking bubble.
and then
it's
you have
got
to,
a red.
right, and then you click on it and it'll give, so that wasn't working for me. Because if I tried, let's say the students weren't putting capital letters on things and I typed that in there, they never got back to me. So that was a drawback with Pear Deck. I couldn't do real-time corrections or editing or comments. But as far as seeing what kids are doing and making sure they're doing something, there's nobody hiding in my class when I'm using Pear Deck. I see right away whether you're typing or not. And I didn't do it on this one, but lots of times, like I'll put on a question, I'll put 2 or 3 questions. I did it earlier, so that, and I'll tell them, hey, you got to write ABC or 1, 2, 3 on there right away, so I know that you're paying attention, and then I can really tell if kids are asleep or gone somewhere else or not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So Pear Deck is number 3 for me, just because it gives me that real time feedback from my students. And it's simple. It's easy to build Google Slides for me, and it's simple just to add a Pear Deck text box to the slides. So this is, oops. I got to show the other screen. So this is just a quick little video. So this is what it looks like in class. So these 3 students had already answered. Leslie came a little bit late, so she's typing away, and I can watch her and make sure she's finished with her thought before I move on to the next thing. So, and this was, again, this is their bell work, and today it was whether they're the kind of people that are going to be like cowboys and roam free, or if they're going to be, if their dream is to be at home, homebodies, and have a nice house and family. So, okay, oops, did I miss one? Oh, this is the next one is the same thing. I use Google Docs and Google Classroom. So on your Pear Deck, if you click on this, or wait, let me invite you. So if you go back to the Zoom, I'll put it in the chat. And you can join my classroom. Does that make sense? Anita, do you understand? Okay.
He knows if I understand, then everybody understands.
Well, Deanna told me, like, not all this stuff is real intuitive to her, and I don't want to go too fast. Is Google Classroom something you use in elementary? No? Okay.
Can you, if you wanted to, or would it not be okay?
It would probably be okay for the upper grade levels. I'm not sure how compatible Google Classroom is with iPads, because kindergarten and 1st grade have iPads.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be very good below 3rd grade. Yeah.
Yeah, they need Seesaw in order to record themselves instead of writing.
Okay.
Well, look, there I got my class. Okay, students, you're going to go to class work, and you have an assignment there. Okay. So, are you with me? Did you find your assignment? So go ahead and fill out your answers over here in this column.
And do I need to do anything, or does it automatically come up? Do I need to push send or enter or anything?
No, you should just be typing in it. Did you already finish?
I did.
Wow. What did I do wrong here? Oh, okay. I changed it. That's what happened. Let's see. I can't remember who I did already. Lisa and Anita. Let's do Deanna. Barb. So this is what I do. I open up all these little boxes. Really? Barb, you like eggs a lot? Or grapes a lot, I mean? There we go. Okay. So this has made it much easier for me to follow what the kids, so I know to look in this box, and you guys are great students because you're answering them all on your own. And then, so that's similar to the Pear Deck. What's different about this is I can click on this and, oh, it's suggesting, it's making a spelling suggestion or a punctuation suggestion, which is kind of cool. So in here, I can make comments. So this has really changed things. So it's not only that I see students doing their work, but I'm commenting on it in real time. And this has totally changed it for me. Now, when I have 17 kids and there's 17 tabs up here, it gets to be a lot. But at least I'm spot checking all the time. And I try between this is going to come up later, between the chat and this, I'm trying to have some something, some comment, something for each kid. So in business, they call it touches. I'm trying to have a connection with each kid each day. So it can get a little hairy, kind of depends on the day and then how complicated the questions are. So the more difficult the questions are, it takes them longer to answer. Like you guys went through this super fast, but when we're doing something in class, it might take them more time, and then that gives me a chance to run through them. Is that making sense to you guys? Have I convinced you this is better? So, let's see. Right. So, I don't know. You guys are English teachers, so you might. It depends on you. This is great, or you might talk to them. One of the things I've been doing a lot with, and I'll work on the blank one. I loaded that one and then I worked on it and then I forgot to reload it. So what I'm trying to teach the students, and this is kind of for KELPA, which is the state assessment, is I'm trying to teach them to use the words in the question to start their answer. So over here, and to get them to write full sentences. So I might type in here, my favorite food is, and then have them finish. So I'll do the sentence stems with them, and I try to point out it's over here. What are your plans for the weekend? My plans for the weekend are that kind of thing. Does that make sense to you guys? And it's helped a lot because I work with the ELs, and it gets them started. So by now they know there's no reason to have a blank box. They should be able to look at the question and start their answer. So it's coming along. So the other thing, and I put it on here to remind myself, this is what I found with high school students, is they're very, very dependent on me. So I don't know if that's they don't want to have the wrong answer, or they're just lazy and they want to wait for me. So this has been a process. So in the beginning, I was giving them all the answers basically, but now I'm trying to build in slowly but surely, I've added more that they have to answer on their own to start building the independence that they can do this on their own. And again, like I told you, I tell them there's no reason not to start it, even if you're not sure the answer. Look at the question and use that as your sentence stem. So, all right. And I don't know. I don't know. Oh, this is real. This one's just what I just showed you, but this is me. You can see in here, I'm making comments in real time with the students. And yeah, I wish you could have heard her. It didn't record my sound, but she was typing in here and we were working on it. And then she was complaining to me to go look at somebody else's paper. So I felt like I was doing a good job. Okay, last one. And I haven't done a real good job with this, is what I really miss about teaching is getting to know my students. And I don't really know them as well as I would have in the past, because there's no chance for me to kind of stand beside them, especially with the distancing, and talk to them. So in the chat, it's another place for me to connect with kids. So I'm in there, especially if I see they're getting through their work fast, I'll start asking them questions in the chat, or they've gotten real comfortable answering me in the chat. So I think I already told Anita this. I have this student, she failed last year, English 9, and she came, sometimes those kids are kind of rough. Anyway, she comes in and she has a stocking cap on. She's got her earbuds in. She's got her stocking cap pulled all the way down. She hunches down. She like hides behind her screen, and there's no contact. Like if I talk to her, she often doesn't respond. Well, anyway, in this chat, I just started asking, how are you doing today? And da-da-da. And then she just shared all this personal stuff about her life, right? Mom was in rehab. Dad was in jail. There was one time she wasn't sure where she was going to sleep, all of that kind of stuff. And she never, ever, ever, ever says a word in class, ever. Even this week when we went back to personal, she's never talked to me in class. But in the chat, she'll do all that. So it's been an eye-opener for me that I could kind of get to know some of the students this way. It's not all the students, but a bunch of the students are much more comfortable, probably because they text so much, chatting with me inside the chat. And I feel like it's been nice for me to get to know my students a little bit. So I don't know how you get to know your students if you don't see them every day. And even when we do see them, it's so different now, because I don't know if it's maybe not the same at elementary, but in the high school for sure, they sit in the back of the room with their screens up. They have those plastic screens. They have their heads down and they don't really talk in class, especially ninth graders, because they're new to the school and they don't know each other already. And we haven't had a chance to do class builders. They can't get near each other. So we have to be all spread out. And so it's just been a very different year. And it's just one idea to getting to know the students. So, and I don't know if I got this done today. Today was pretty typical, right? You start a class, then people drop in and there's problems with Zoom and this, that, and the other thing. But I do try to greet all my students in there and ask them how they're doing. And lots of times I'll tell them how I'm doing, because they're really good. If I say, how are you doing? They say, I'm fine. How are you? And then I'll say something funny or dumb, or to try to keep the conversation going. So those are my 5 tips. I don't deviate now. The process is the same every day. The questions always change what we look at, but we're going to be on Pear Deck, we're going to use Google Classroom, and we're going to use a Google Doc, and it looks the same every day that way. And like I said, it's made a huge difference as far as getting work done. It's made a great difference. So
one of the ways I've got the kids to talk to me more on a personal basis too is I include the national holidays. Like today was National Dress Up Your Pet Day. So a lot of the kids showed pictures of their pets dressed up, or
Oh,
a couple of them even had their pets at home dressed up. So that was a way for me to see their pet and to see if they were actually doing that. And they thought that was a lot of fun. So tomorrow's National Hat Day, so they're all going to wear hats on Zoom. So that was a way to kind of get them to
yeah,
get
fun way.
to interact.
Yeah. I don't know. Lisa, Barb, what do you guys do?
Well, every Friday we have show and tell, and
Oh, okay.
so then they can share something that they've been waiting all week to share. And then Wednesday we have Would You Rather Day. So we talk about something. Would you rather do this or this? So each
Mhm.
day we have something different that we start the meeting off with and
Uh-huh.
talk about.
Yeah.
And I know on Fridays I like to do scavenger hunts with my kids if they've worked hard all week. And then they tell me about what they've brought and why they brought it. And they really seem to enjoy that.
So they're looking for stuff in their house, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
And they'll
cool.
disappear and I'll hear their footsteps running all over the house. And sometimes they'll engage a brother or sister or a parent to help them find something. So yeah.
Do you have like a list that you have them like look for something, or do you have
I
like
try
a
to,
clue?
or I'll try to incorporate like from the lessons, find something that makes a sound or something that rattles or something that's round or something that's square. So I try to incorporate a part of the lesson too. So they're not just looking for something red or something blue. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Is there anything, once we go back to real life and away from all this, that you'll keep from using from the remote stuff?
I like all the
Probably shouldn't
technology I'm
ask me that.
learning.
What's that? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I would
So-
say today as a teacher, you probably shouldn't ask that, because I'm begging to go back. I don't like teaching remote very often. So no, for a while, I probably won't keep a single thing from it. But then after a while, I'm sure I'll do Pear Deck and things like that.
Yeah, so I will I will continue to teach the way I am. Even, I mean, I have. We went back to in person. I still made them get on Zoom and go through this stuff because it's been I know my students better this year than I ever have, because I would, if I were teaching, I couldn't get around a room with 25 kids in it and make sure they were filling out everything correctly. I just couldn't do it. Yeah, just the pace and all that. So kids hid all the time in my class and didn't finish their work, and I wouldn't know until class was over that they hadn't done it, and I hated that. So I'm feeling really good about continuing to use these things going forward, even when we're back in person. And I don't know if it's different for you guys, but for the high school, we all talk about it. The huge difference this year is there's no discipline issues.
Okay, good.
Right?
We out by then. Okay. I'm not sure about.
So
Okay.
we had, I mean, they're big kids, and their issues get to be really big, right? And so there's no fights in the school, for instance, and there's no students storming out or breaking things in rooms, and all of that's been taken out, which it's been very, very peaceful. I don't know if I'm wondering if this year will kind of reset the whole thing, and maybe those behaviors won't come back in as much. I'm really curious about that, because we don't have it right now, and it could just be that they're so spread out. But it would be great if we didn't have so many discipline problems, so many kids just skipping class and running around in the halls and all of those kinds of things. So fingers crossed, that's something else that we can make sure continues. And for me, I wasn't someone that would have texted parents in the past, but I'm thinking I'll probably text them even if we're in person, and maybe they'll stay out of the hall and get to class if their mom or dad or somebody knows that they're not in class. So for me, all of these things I'm shared today are things I'll probably continue to do even when we're not remote. So,
You know, this could be a new form of, detention, where when you get detention, you don't get to sit at home, watch TV all day. You are in the office in front of a Zoom and sitting there, except you're isolated from the rest of the class and having flashbacks of this horrible time in the world.
right.
And I just really feel like, I know that I was in one meeting and they said the kids are really monitoring each other, that they're saying, put your mask on, put your mask on. Do you want to end up back in remote?
Oh,
So there's a new appreciation. It's like anything else. When you don't have something is when you appreciate it. And so I think there's a lot of kids that never knew how much they appreciated school until now. And frankly, parents too.
mhm. Yeah. I guess
Oh,
the other
yeah.
thing, while you're saying that, also, I'm thinking my class is just the essentials now. There's nothing else. There's super focused. There's no fluff in it anymore. There's a certain amount of material we have to get through, and there's really not a lot of time to just, play. But maybe it's different for elementary. But yeah. So I was hoping you guys would help me out. In the Pear Deck, well, it's more or less it's an exit ticket, or what will you remember from what we talked about today? Or what would you tell them about today's session? And again, this is I don't know how much you use Pear Deck. This is a built-in slide from Pear Deck. I didn't have to. I just clicked on a button and it added to the end. And then that's it. You're welcome to stay on or leave. I'll hang out. We have 4 more minutes, so I'll hang out. I'm definitely happy to hang out. Or if you have questions or want to talk, that's great.
I don't have my response isn't, my area to respond is not here.
Oh no, why is it doing that?
It's something about having to go back and forth to that link.
Well, then please do it in the chat, and I'll keep the chat. The chat script, I should say. Thank you for coming. And oh yeah, no, my pleasure. And I'm happy to follow up with you guys. That's part of my job. So if you want to get on Zoom and go through this stuff and I walk you through stuff, I'm happy to do that. Cool. Anita, did you learn anything?
I did.
Oh, there we go. I just got it.
I did. If I were a student and I miss it, I would say he didn't let us get away with anything. You might as well show up. You might as well. Otherwise, he's gonna find me even if I'm in Zoom.
Yeah. Well, wait till the PD we start doing with the teachers. Man.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna cut out all those side conversations all those elementary teachers are having in their circles.
They need that so bad. They need that adult interaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Thank you so much. If there's anything I can do, let me know. Dan, I don't know how much you work with ELs, but so everybody else here, we all work with English learners. And so if you have English learners, let us know, and we're happy to help you.
And I might also add, Roger, that Lisa and Barb, that for me, I'm a real novice when it comes to technology, and I'm very intimidated by technology, and it's not intuitive to me. And Roger is probably the most patient individual. And if I'm trying to figure out a platform that he's not familiar with, he considers it a challenge to dig in there and get to know it. So it doesn't have to be restricted to Google. If there's a platform that you're working with, Seesaw or something else that you really find challenging, or I think it's safe for me to say that Roger would not mind you reaching out to him. If you're stuck with an aspect of that, I think he probably would be glad to help, or to find someone who could help that would be as patient as he is. So.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. Did you guys get your couple of scores, Lisa and Barb? I sent
Yes,
them.
we did.
Okay. How'd they
Thank
look?
you.
Did you get them from your test coordinator in the building?
No, I emailed her and asked about it, and I did not get a response from her. So I just got what Roger sent today. So.
Oh, okay. How did they look? Are you pleased with the outcome?
Some, yeah, a couple a little depressing.
Okay. Yeah.
And one just totally blew my mind at how they'd gone from a 5 to a 1, and I'm still not understanding that.
It could have been a bad day. It could have been
Was
not
it a
feeling
fifth grader?
good. It could have been, yeah.
No, she was a 2nd grader last year, and it was the speaking part, and she's a very good speaker. So that just blew my mind when I saw that.
I
Yeah.
wonder if it was something the person, because you didn't grade your own, did you?
No,
So the person maybe could have been having technological issues, and for
I'm
some reason
hoping
just
it was
couldn't
something like
hear.
that, because I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's a shame. I hate when that
Yeah.
happens.
But there were a lot of good. There were a lot of them. I was like, yes, yes, yes. So,
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Did you get your
Someone's
dog all
excited.
excited there, Lisa?
I don't have a dog.
Oh, you got
Oh.
someone's dog excited.
Probably
It,
Barb.
it wasn't mine. He's sleeping back there. He's wondering why
That's
I'm talking so much.
funny. That's funny.
They wanted to be heard.
We should all start yelling, speak, speak.
Yeah, if it was Barb's dog.
Oh, that was kind of a bigger bark than that size of that little face.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone, and Roger especially. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
my
you,
pleasure.
Roger.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Roger.
All right. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.